It might seem like historic preservation is a fairly modern trend, but even 100 years ago, there were still people who sought out historic homes to live in. Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we are exploring Sunset Rock. Go ahead and hit that like button to let YouTube know you appreciate historic homes, and let's begin exploring this house. In 1865, Billy Spaulding was born to a wealthy family in Boston, Massachusetts. Growing up on Beacon Street in the duplex on the right, he was surrounded by leaders of industry who called Beacon Hill home. After graduating from Harvard, he began networking with his old neighbors and managed to strike up a partnership in the Revere Sugar Refinery. With Billy now listed as a co-owner, the business quickly scaled, becoming one of the largest sugar refineries in the world, shipping out about 1,400 barrels of sugar every single day. Around the turn of the century, as the money began pouring in, he purchased 45 Beacon Street, the historic third residence of Harrison Gray Otis, which had been built in 1806. The 4-story mansion was among the largest in the neighborhood, but even so, this was only Billy's starter home. Much like you and me, Billy had a deep-rooted appreciation for older homes, and he began searching for a mature country estate, something which was refined by age and boasting a timeless beauty. The house he ended up purchasing was known as Sunset Rock, which he immediately began enlarging by adding wings to either side. The grounds, designed by Frederick Law Olmstead, had already become the envy of Pride's Crossing, where many notable families, including the Fricks, kept their summer homes. Lush gardens built into reflecting pools lined by balustrade and dotted with urns. Following the many meandering walking paths would lead you across picture-perfect bridges spanning the waterways. Spaulding's garden boasted everything from greenhouses to workers' cottages, ensuring the grounds were always perfectly maintained. As we make our way around the mansion to its rear-facing facade, we find a large terrace leading us towards the main house. Turning to the right, we look out over the water and can imagine yachts and sailboats passing by all throughout the summertime. And behind us, looking over it all, Sunset Rock welcomes us to come inside and begin exploring. To enter the mansion, we will return around front and make our way through the large double doors below the portico. This leads us into the entrance hall, where we are immediately greeted by a roaring fire flickering across dotted marble floors. The ceiling rounds out above arches, each containing a niche or a doorway. Let's take the one on the right. Here we find the recently remodeled staircase, fashioned for the beginning of the Edwardian era. Though it was an older house by the time Billy purchased it, instead of ripping everything out and starting over, he decided to have the wood paneling and balustrade painted in keeping with the times. In fact, we will see how extensively paint can be used throughout the house to change its look, such as in the smoking room where the ceiling became a trompe-l'oeil. From here we'll venture into the dining room, where, unlike the smoking room, the ceiling is decorated with ornate plasterwork. This feeds into the gallery, with grand pediments crowning each doorway. From painted wall panels to an intricately coffered ceiling, the gallery acts as a bridge from the dining room to the drawing room. The drawing room continues these finishes, introducing gilded accents on some of its features. By the time Billy lived here, Victorian-era fashion was already out of style, but nonetheless, he wanted curtains and sofas to be reminiscent of the era with a playful and modern twist. Let's cut back into the gallery and open the French doors onto the loggia. This incredible space is dominated by a series of groin vaults and decorated with brightly colored frescoes soaring above brick floors with inset limestone hexagons. When all of the doors were opened, he could flood the house with fresh ocean air. The Spauldings enjoyed summering at Sunset Rock together as a family for many decades until Billy's passing in 1937. Their historic house in Boston was sold out of the family, and while other uses were found for it over the years, the facade remains almost untouched by time. The same, however, cannot be said for Sunset Rock, which was ultimately replaced by this house in the 1950s, though several key pieces of the Olmsted-designed gardens do remain intact. What did you like most about Sunset Rock? Let me know down below in the comments section. And while you're there, make sure you are subscribed so you never miss an exciting episode of This House.